Shalom. Call halal Yahweh Bashem Shai Bashem Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners. And to the Akwaf that are listening and learning. To you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm coming at you with another lesson and a heavy heart. Just kind of hurt and upset, which we all should be, being in Babylon. But at the same time, we're happy because we can see that our deliverance is near. But I'm just a little frustrated on a personal level because I finally had got Esau checkmated with this court battle that I've been going back and forth with for quite a long time. And because last week the judge dismissed my case without prejudice, meaning I could bring it back because I hadn't provided proof that I had served the other party with the notice that they were I'm not going to go into the details, but the truth of the matter is I had served them via certified mail, and the judge, that's why a woman shouldn't be a judge, she dismissed the case before 2 days before the notification that I actually have proof of now, electronic proof and receipts that they got it, that they were served. But she dismissed it 2 days before it got there, and it probably would have gotten there a couple days earlier, but because of the COVID. So it's funny because when you look at the tracking on it, it was, it shows you every station that it went to before it was delivered and had to be signed for. And that's because I actually have them. And it's not even about the money. I could care less about the money. I just want all my licenses back, my business license, my driver's license, all the things that they damn near financially castrated me, man. If it wasn't for the fact that I had skills that were marketable, that I could actually, use my talent given to me from on high, from the things that I've learned to keep a little source of income coming in, I would have had nothing, man. And so now that I've proven that they were wrong, and they have to give me back all this substance that they denied me from making. They did everything in their power to shut it down, just like they're doing everything in their power to keep this information from coming out. So if you're waking up to this and it's early, there was widespread looting downtown Chicago overnight. But you know what came out over the weekend? Hillary Clinton lost her court battle. All right, and you have this video now that's all over the internet with director John Paul Rice, very well known Hollywood director, right? Very well connected, acknowledging all the Pizzagate and the pedophilia, the Satanism in the music and in the Hollywood industry. Also, that the media is all controlled by these very people who hide the information, which is the reason why this rioting took place in Chicago. Because this rioting took place in Chicago to drown out the voices of what you are about to hear. All right, so let me grab a scripture real quick, and then we're gonna play what this Edomite gentleman has to say. But let me go to the scriptures. I believe it's in the book of Jeremiah, because I got the news on in the other room. I never turned it off, so Salaki, if that noise is yeah, this is Jeremiah 49:10, and it reads, "But I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not." All right, so Esau is completely exposed. He's exposed now. He can't hide anymore, which is why he's speeding up his plans. All right, and well, you know what? Let's just let it play. Let me check the sound. All right. And there we go.
One more for the day that I found. I can't believe I didn't know this yesterday, but Hillary Clinton lost her court case where she was trying to not testify on her email stuff, saying that it'd be a security breach and all this other nonsense that she tries. She's been trying for 3.5 years. Well, her final appeal finally failed, and yes, she will have to testify under oath come September. And they already have the information, so if she lies, she's fucked. And if she tells the truth, she's fucked. So, Simus, I told you that it was coming, and you wanted to blow smoke up my ass with all your rhetoric and your bullshit. Well, I knew it was coming, and she was going to run out of her appeals eventually, and she pushed it out for, a long ass time, but judge ain't having it. She's going to testify. So this is the domino that we've all been waiting to fall, and Rosenstein was on the hot seat yesterday, and today they talked about subpoenaing Obama's administration on the Flynn stuff and a bunch of other things, one of his many scandals, and it's, going to get voted on. I guess it got delayed for some reason. I ain't figured out why. But that's going to be voted on come next Thursday. And, exposing the bullshit from the Democrats and 8 years of Obama and the scandal after scandal after scandal.
But see, it's not just the Democrats, it's the Republican Party, it's the Edomite system in itself. All right, so this bald-faced dude, you're exposed too, man, because you supported that Democratic and Republican and rat-publican system as well. But this is as 2 Ezra 6:6, and it reads, "Then did I consider these things, they all were made through me alone, and through none other. By me also they shall be ended, and by none other. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of times?" What's going to be the end of times and the new beginning, all right? "Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth?" All right, that first world rule was given unto Esau. All right, remember that. All right, and specifically Amalek of the Edomites. Okay, the Amalekites. Those 1948ers that that Ezekiel 36:5 points out, and it reads, "And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob held first the hill of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth." And see, and this is the only thing that's keeping me sane, man, because I'm so angry right now, and how could I not be? If you were in my shoes, you'd be angry too, man, because I've been, we've all been being oppressed. Some brothers in different ways, some brothers a little more than others, but the moment it's like, the moment I'm able to take the mask off and get a little breathing, get a little breath, they slap that chokehold on me again. All right. But, I know that the Lord is coming, man. So let's click to this next video. Let's see. There he is. That's him right there. So we're going to click on that.
Just going to
hold on. Let me go to the portion that I want to hear. I highly suggest that you watch this video. This was put up by the brother Banyana, Understanding, and it's called 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Movie director John Paul Rice, Works of Iniquity, Son of Perdition. Highly suggest that you watch the video if you haven't seen it yet. But I do believe that the information that's contained in this video and others that may be like it that surfaced over the weekend, that came out over the weekend, was the reason why they did this, what they did in Chicago. Why they did what they did in Chicago. All right? And it's funny too, because I was just talking to the beloved brother, the elder from L.A., Barakla, and you know, he was saying that because he had the same battle, and he had them on the ropes and had them to the point where they were forced into mediation, but they came back with some paperwork and they bombarded him with so much of it, but then they didn't give him enough. He didn't have time to respond to it. That seems to be the ploy. They're doing everything in their power to prevent the truth from coming out, but it's coming out anyway, man. And that's what he is about to admit, that this is what they do to suppress information. How they use the media as a weapon to push information that they want pushed and to hide the truth. And this is a Hollywood director saying these things, all right? So without any further ado, let's
bring them for pleasure. This is not a pedophile. These are psychopaths.
Hold on, let's go back a little bit. There we go.
I promise you this is true. Go on YouTube and find Anake Lucas, who was a child sex slave at 6 years old for the elite. And she will describe to you, she also gave a TED Talk on this, but this was in 2016. She talked about the block of wood that she saw with the stains of blood of children on it. The predators are not just raping and having sex and torturing and beating these kids. They're murdering them for pleasure. This is not a pedophile. These are psychopaths. And they have no remorse whatsoever in what they're doing. What we need to do in this world is unify together to protect all life on this planet and the sacredness of children. Because if we are going to make it through this time with all the upheavals that are going to come, socioeconomic, racial, however you want to measure it.
He's right. Those insurrections are coming. Right? The upheavals are coming. They're already here. This orchestrated riot, this orchestrated looting overnight downtown Chicago would shut down the courts. So now I can't go to court. All right? And I got a feeling that they're going to try to say that I'm out of time. We'll see what happens. But yeah, this thing is going to just continue, man.
This is the unifying issue that the establishment will not give you a movement for. You're going to have to do it on your own. They will give you the Me Too movement because they can make it about hatred of men and weaponize it and make it political. They'll give you the Black Lives Matter movement because they can weaponize it and make it political. They can have Colin...
And that's just it. And now I'm listening to the news, and all they're talking about is how did this get past the police? How did this was orchestrated on social media and blah, 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 blah. And how did this get passed? But why? He just told you. And then more than likely it was Black Lives Matter, Antifa, and it was controlled by them. Because why? Because they can weaponize it. And now this is all people going to be talking about for the next 2 or 3 weeks, while what this very important information that he's talking about is going to get swept under the rug.
Kaepernick, take a knee, divide the country, and he walks away with a check from Nike at a tens of millions of dollars NFL star level deal. While Nike has concentration camps, slave labor camp workers working in China at their factories, also our kids can have their Air Jordans. And Colin Kaepernick says nothing about that. Where are our Martin Luther King Jr.'s and our Malcolm X's? They're in celebrity culture. All of these people who get up and say that we live in an oppressive system are taking checks from white men who are paying them. And why I'm saying this is I'm so angry because it all ties into this abuse of human rights. We have to stop fighting each other and unite for this country and this world for our children. I don't care that Amazon took my movie down. In fact, it tells me that we're doing better than ever before and that this issue is spreading all over. 80 million impressions last month alone on TikTok for Pizzagate, for which if anybody looks into it, I tell them, go look at the New York Times coverage in 2016 and look at how they covered it, and then go look at James Alefantis's Instagram images. They completely omitted them. This is the family restaurant owner who is posting pictures of children in compromising positions, and all of the friends that James Alefantis has was talking about how delicious those kids looked. Would you send your child and walk into a restaurant for which the owner is publicly doing those kinds of things on social media?
But yeah, all they did was shamed everyone who talked about it or brought it up, even fabricated a couple of incidents so they could demonize it and talk about how false information can cause violence. This is what they do. But they're being exposed because why? He's an insider. He's one of them. And his movie, I didn't see the movie, but clearly millions and millions of people did on Amazon. And it was about two children being sex trafficked, and one child helping another child to expose the people that harmed them. All right, that's what this movie on Amazon was about, and Amazon removed it. Why? Why?
In a public forum.
See, when you present evidence, you know, just like we presented the biblical evidence that their people are indeed the Edomites, and that the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American are the true people of the Lord, plus our scattered brethren, you know, that are scattered among the heathen nations that look like the heathen, which we acknowledge that. They don't acknowledge that we say that. They try to make it a black or Hispanic thing, you know. We tell them all the time that our people are scattered, and some of our people actually look like the heathen nations. All right, but they trying to make us crazy, sound crazy, and like we're just some sort of crazy cult or some hateful racist cult. All right, which is far from the truth. That's a lie.
Look at Pedogate 2020. Watch Out of Shadows to get an idea of how disgusting these people are. And they have the gall to call you a right-winger or a conspiracy theorist or a white supremacist or a neo-Nazi. They'll do it to everybody. Doesn't matter whether you're a Democrat or Republican. They'll do it to everybody. I've been called every name in the book, and I'm telling you this. I woke up because I listened to what other people were saying, and I waited and I sought out the truth for myself. I didn't wait for the mainstream media to tell me. Every single time there is a disclosure in Hollywood, all of these kids, I worked there for 20 years, I saw shit that nobody should see. I didn't partake in things, it was just right in front of me, out in the open. These kids, when you see Britney Spears, when you see Amanda Bynes, when you see any of these young pop stars have meltdowns, that's not because they're famous, that's not because of the pressures of stardom and the money getting to them. It's because they're sexually abused and handed around like candy. You go on Crazy Days and Nights, you can go to Tracy Bean's channel and look up that video which she did at the end of 2019. It'll blow your mind. They have a pipeline of kids going from Haiti all the way to the Vatican on boats.
Wow.
And there are people in Hollywood who facilitate all this, stars who will go and date rich men. You can look up this, these stories are in the press. They're hidden like they're traveling and they're going over here. They're hanging out with billionaire men in the Middle East. It has nothing to do with the fact that they're Muslim. It's not even that they're Muslim. These are kings. These are princes. These are heads of state, dignitaries, billionaire moguls, all hanging around Cannes. And it's legitimate. It's completely legitimate. They call it yachting.
And yachting. They call it yachting. So you're just going on a yacht. You're just traveling around being sexually abused. All right? And it won't be on Fox, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, none of that. All right? They're not going to talk about that.
And that's just the dating part of it and having sex for money, which they throw hundreds of thousands of dollars at some of these girls, depending on how long they'll stay with them, and accompany them to dinners and have sex with them and do whatever they want in their orgies or whatever sexual perversions they have.
Wow.
This has been going on for decades, forever. Hollywood is just the most publicly visible because it's out in our faces, it's on our airways, it's on our TV all the time. It's in our music industry. You would not believe the level of satanic crap that is in there. And if you had told me this 3 years ago, I would have said, you're crazy. I thought, that's too far. No, 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 no.
Yeah,
This
and that's what the average person who has common sense says, before their eyes are open, man. And then all of a sudden your eyes are open and you see the truth and you see the world for what it is. And that's what this guy clearly has come to that moment, man. To where some of the things he saw things that he knew wasn't right, but he didn't think it was that bad. And then all of a sudden his eyes were open and he saw it, man. And now he's putting himself out there. So don't be surprised if this dude, is a stiff, in the near future.
satanic shit that is going on in our music industry and in Hollywood too, but mostly in the music industry, is so out there. Once you look at it and you see the occult symbolism, they use it in everything. Baphomet is everywhere. Pentagram is all over the place, and they sew it into the consciousness of these young kids through witchcraft and all sorts of fun stuff. They make it fun. They make it sound fun. And it's sexy. But I'll give you this, just on the practical level. You look at every pop star over the last 20 years, and especially in the last 10. Ariana Grande, Miley Cyrus. Where do they start? Innocence. Miley Cyrus was Hannah Montana. Innocence.
Wow.
She came out with a music video last year. For what? Where she had claws and teeth on her vagina. They promote diversity, tolerance, all of this to confuse people, and they don't even see it. Ariana Grande, unfortunately, I feel very bad for these kids because they're children and they have to do horrific things. Kaya Jones, who I know personally, was a former member of the Pussycat Dolls. And she gave her testimony in 2017, right after the Las Vegas shooting, because she was there. And she started talking as far as she could go about what these kids go through. And her moment of clarity was she saw what everybody else around her in the group was starting to do. Sex was nothing. But then taking advantage of people and having no remorse for it, she saw another level to it. And it was the moment she was at the MGM Grand, standing up there singing, and these young girls looking up and idolizing these women. You're the Pussycat Dolls. I want to be like you. She couldn't do it anymore, and she walked away.
This is Second Thessalonians 2 and verse 3, and it reads, "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition." So the Israelites had to lose their heritage before the man of sin was revealed, the son of perdition. Verse 4, "Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God." And who did that? Esau, Edom. He painted himself as God and exalted himself as God. All right? And now he's being revealed. Verse 5, "Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things? And now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work, and only he who now letteth will let, until he be taken out of the way." And Esau is exposed and about to be taken out of the way. Call halal Yahweh by Shem Abashai, by Shem Rakak Badash, Wa Abba Babal Shalom.